into your mouth becomes your blood. And your blood is what builds your body. So literally, we are what we eat.
So, why changing your eating style may be beneficial for you?
Well, there's lots of different ways that eating a little bit differently will become more beneficial, and you'll feel results that you really appreciate. And a lot of people have small symptoms, headaches, their stomach isn't digesting perfectly, and any little things that may not be functioning perfectly physiologically can a lot of times be helped by just changing the way that we eat. It's surprising, but it's very true.
What do you suggest we should eat? Where should we get our protein?
Well, what we should eat is less animal foods, less foods like, milk and meat and, chicken and all those things that involve animals, especially meat and flesh. And then also we want to avoid milk and eggs and really anything from an animal.
Why?
Where do we get our? Well, why? Because it's not the correct source of protein. We don't get our protein from previously constructed animals. So an animal like a cow or a deer has already constructed its protein. That's why it looks like a cow. We don't need to eat a cow to get human protein. That's not the way it works.
So how does it work?
How does it work? If we were to eat the cow, we would have to break that cow down into the amino acid constituency of protein. And then once we had the amino acids from the cow that we broke down, we would have to build it back up from scratch. We build human protein from scratch. If we didn't do that, we would look like the animals that we eat, but we don't. The reason is that the only thing we're interested in is getting all of the amino acids, and once we have all the amino acids in our blood, we build ourselves from scratch, just like a cow would build itself, or an elephant would build itself, or any animal builds itself from scratch.
What is your suggestion? Where should we get our protein and how?
First of all, there's a lot of misunderstanding about protein. And a lot of people believe that you need a lot more protein than you really do. And our body is very conservative of protein, so we don't lose very much. However, the best sources of protein are fruits and nuts and seeds. And in addition, there's blue-green algae like spirulina. There's a special one called AFA, which comes from Oregon. And these are single-cell organisms that are abundant in protein. In fact, spirulina and AFA have more protein per gram than anything else on Earth.
Where do we get that? How do we buy that?
Most decent supermarkets are gonna have spirulina, and then if you look at the health food green drinks, a lot of times they might have this other species of blue-green algae as well. And just having lots of fruits and lots of foods from the plant kingdom assures you a wide variety of amino acids, and that's all we need. We need the amino acids. We don't need the protein that's already being constructed.
Recipes. Is there any recipe with those type of
Oh yeah, there's so many things that we can make just based upon the plant kingdom. It's extraordinary when you have a lot of skills, or when you are actually have access to, you can order food. There's a wonderful website called Rawvolution. Yeah, and they actually ship food to you. Okay, but there's plenty of recipes. There's lots of recipe books. There's a lot of simple things that you can do as well. But most importantly is just to eat intelligently and eat only when you're hungry. That's a big key.
Huge one. So before you used to eat meat. Now you don't. What is the difference in your body, in your mind? What is the difference?
Yeah. When I was eating meat in my 20s, I would eat a lot of meat. I ate worse than anyone else, really, that you've ever met or anyone's ever met. I really ate poorly. And I was, all the time my stomach was hurting, and all the time, I could just feel like I wasn't really feeling great. When I stopped and I started eating more intelligently, not only would my body feel better, but my brain, my mind. I could connect more to things in nature and to spiritual things, make more sense. There's a lot of benefits, spiritual, mental benefits. I feel a lot calmer. Because a lot of times when you eat animal food, there's a lot of anger in your body because you ate fear. And fear is the root of anger. So if you're eating fear, because all animals are afraid before they die. So there's fear in their blood, there's fear in their blood. Those fearful vibrations, when they enter into your blood, can cause all sorts of things. And one of them is fear, and fear is the root of anger. So we get to be a lot more calm, a lot more spiritually connected, and a lot more, understanding of the world when we stop eating dead animals.
How about milk? What do you think about milk? Why would milk?
Milk is another. There's a lot of misconceptions a lot of times with milk as well. What we find with milk is that even though it has a lot of calcium, it actually causes osteoporosis. Yeah, I know, it's shocking to hear that because we're always hearing the opposite, that milk is the cure for osteoporosis because it has calcium. So that's called a half-truth, and it's a half-truth because half of it's true, and that's how they get you on the half that's not true. So they tell you that milk is full of calcium, and then they say, yeah, you should eat milk for calcium. But the fact of the matter is when we take milk, and milk is passed through our digestive tract, the result, the ash of the milk having been digested, is acidic. It's acidic, meaning it's bringing your blood to a more acidic pH.
Wow.
And the bloodstream in the body does not tolerate differentials in the pH, so that would mean death. So as soon as your blood starts to go acidic, your body, your brain says, alarm system, we can't allow that. So the body's not going to allow that, so it sends out all the minerals out of the bones, calcium, magnesium, these are the alkaline minerals, so that the mineral ions go into the blood, they interact with the acidic influence of the milk, and then bring your pH back to normal. So all of the calcium is being leached out of your bones in an attempt to save your life because you drank milk. That's the problem. That's just one of the things. The other thing is that adult mammals don't suckle anymore. This is the definition of an adult. A mammal is an adult when it doesn't suckle anymore. And we're all adults, so we don't need to suckle. I wouldn't suckle another female human. I certainly wouldn't suckle a female cow. Why would I cross species? If I'm an adult, I should, to some degree, behave like one. And no adult in nature suckle females that are lactating. That's just unnatural. And that's why it's obvious that it's really not necessarily the most intelligent thing for us.
What would be your suggestion for replacing milk in our life?
Well, the replacement for milk is water.
No, but if I want to have a cereal, I'm not going to have it with water.
Yeah, well, you can have soy milk, and soy milk's okay, and there's a lot of nut milks.
We get that because I jumped into your answer.
Okay. Well, you can have soy milk, for example. Soy milk's a fine substitute, and there's also other substitutes that are made from nuts. There's almond milk. There's even hemp milk that all look just like regular milk. You can pour it on your cereal. You can use it in recipes. It's perfectly a fine substitute.
Repeat that because you looked there and it didn't look
Rice.
nice. So if you're going to do that...
Don't tell me what to say.
Yeah,
Thank
rice
you.
milk,
Just tell me to smile.
I said rice.
I don't want to hear you tell me anything except smile.
Okay.
Everything else is my job.
Okay, just get it back. Suggestions for replacing milk?
There's soy milk, which is a wonderful replacement. There's nut milks. Almond milk is a common one. Rice milk is there, and hemp milk. And basically, they're all different products that look just like milk, and they can be used just like milk. And yet, we don't have to have all of the deleterious consequences of eating or drinking milk from a cow or a goat.
What is the difference between vegetarian and raw food, and why would you suggest one or the other one?
Sure. Well, vegetarian is a higher consciousness, and vegetarian doesn't mean anything about milk or cheese. That word means vegan. Okay? So if you're vegan, that means you don't eat milk or cheese, and that's pretty smart. Vegetarian means that you eat milk and cheese, and no problem, but you don't eat flesh foods. And then there's raw food, which does not eat any animals, no milk, no cheese, no meat at all, and also doesn't cook it. So they don't allow anything to touch fire. Because one of the laws of nature, one of the laws of the world, is that you don't want to destroy your food or cook your food before you eat it. Okay? So we have all these different possibilities of ways of eating. And vegetarian is a smart way. It's a very high level of consciousness. Raw food's a little smarter, because that way the nutrients and the stuff that you eat doesn't get destroyed before you eat it. And you get to receive the benefits of the nourishment that way.
What about fish? I have heard a lot about essential fatty acids and...
Well, fish is a very common food source for people, and a lot of people believe that fish is a good food source because they're being told everywhere that fish have something called essential fatty acids. And they do.